Morning, Danny. Morning, WatchCheck. How we doing? I just look. WatchCheck's cheating. Look, that's cheating. You're not allowed to say "Good morning, smiley face" because that just gets you straight into the number one spot. That's cheating. I'd do that. How we doing? Morning. This is last stream for a week. Actually, I'm doing this evening. No, I'm not. I'm doing this afternoon at 2:30. But then I'm off for a week because I'm moving. So I'm going to have a week of chaos, basically, having to get stuff sorted out. I'm assuming the internet's going to work. But anyway, we'll stop. Yes, it's not really cheating. Morning, Sebastian. So this morning, I haven't got anything specific planned for this morning. So I'm going to do an overview of all the FX pairs, have a look at what's going on at the minute. There's a massive amount of confusion going on in the markets at the moment with what Trump's doing with all these conflicts. It's very difficult to pick a direction on anything at the minute. It changes literally day by day. The Fed came out yesterday and one Fed member was saying in the morning, we're going to drop rates in July. Then another Fed member comes out in the afternoon and says it's unlikely that that's going to happen. Then Powell comes out and says we're not going to be dropping the rates. Williams comes out and says tariffs may be adding 0.25% point on inflation right now, which means the interest rates are going to freeze. It's utter confusion. Every time Trump opens his mouth about something to do with the conflict, the price of oil spikes through the roof or falls through the floor. The stock indices are doing the same thing. It is just impossible to do anything on any higher time frame with any kind of directional bias from a fundamental perspective or anything at the minute. It's just a mess. We do expect tariff inflation to show up more. So this is Powell basically saying that we're not going to be cutting rates. The reason we're not cutting rates is that forecasts for the Fed expect meaningful increase in inflation this year. Then earlier on that day, you get somebody coming out from the Fed saying the opposite. There's some trade deals coming out as well. I feel like the Fed policy is already close to neutral. It may well be the case that the Fed stays on hold for quite some time. I don't see any imminent case to cut interest rates. And then you go back further and someone else is saying a different thing. I can't remember who it was saying it earlier on. But anyway, so yeah, it's just utter confusion at the minute. Fear and greed index is flicking between neutral and greed. It's like, okay, that's fine. Let's go full throttle. Let's buy stocks. Then it's like, holy crap, hold on. It's all going wrong again. So, it's just a mess. There's a meeting at The Hague today, which I'm hoping is going to give some clarity as to what's going to happen with these tariffs. So Trump wanted a load of stuff from the EU to do with defense spending and all this sort of stuff. And part of these tariffs are, if we're going to give you money, you've got to give us money back sort of thing. So I'm hoping today is going to get a little bit of clarity on the tariff thing. If we can put the tariffs to bed, at least that will give some clarity as to which direction, hopefully, the dollar is going to move in. Stock market's in massive flux as well, as you can see at the moment. DAX absolutely collapsing down, gapping down this morning, like free falling down. What's going on there? And the FTSE absolutely flying. So, it's all over the place. The whole thing at the moment, it just feels like total confusion. But anyway, it does that every now and again. As you can see from most markets, we are virtually sideways on most things. So, it's just a utter mess. The dollar at the minute is kind of trying to rally, it seems, but it's not really making a massive amount of progress. We had a big safe haven run again yesterday, Swiss franc. Yeah. So my Euro Swiss trades nicely in profit at the moment, or holding it at the minute. But yeah, it's the markets seem utterly confused is all the only way I can put it. Yeah, we've had this de-escalation in conflict, which means that you come out of safe havens and go into the stock market. Yet yesterday we had confirmation of a ceasefire with Israel and Iran, and the safe haven run immediately kicked in. It's the opposite of what normally happens. It's just weird. Oil price is, I'm holding this oil trade. I'm mean reverting this. I don't think this is the end of this conflict, and I don't think this is the end of the oil rally. We're back to where we were, so we've reset. The market was moving slightly bullish on oil, so I'm holding on to it at the moment. I'm in drawdown on it, but I'm holding it, looking for a bounce out of this area here, up into there, and then I'm going to scale out of some of this. But one more bomb, we're back up there. One more bomb, we're potentially back up there. So this will get undone very, very quickly if that escalates. So we'll go through all the FX pairs this morning. We'll have a look at everything. I was going to do another session on AI development this morning, but haven't managed to prepare anything because I've been packing in all sorts of stuff. So I haven't had a chance. So apologies for that. Did anybody manage to put an AI EA together? Question. Obviously, last week we covered how to prompt an AI effectively to build an EA. Did anybody do anything with that? Anybody build anything with ChatGPT or with Cody or anything? Just be interested to know if anybody had a go at it and obviously what the outcome was. Was checked, did good. I've got this new website that I'm working on with these other guys. Part of that is going to be an EA builder. So it's going to be an AI which is specifically trained for coding MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5. So it'll be kind of an enhanced version of normal AI coding. So that is going to be part of their website. They're going to build in an automatic strategy automator, if you like, which is going to be quite exciting. So I'm going to get involved in the coding of that side of things with them as well. I'm getting more and more dragged into this project. I'm loving it. It's really good what they're doing. Everything I talk about, everything I do, everything I look at, they're kind of pulling all of the bits, half of the bits that I do on a daily basis together into a website and loads of other stuff as well. So it's kind of becoming this sort of central traders hub where you can upload all your account history. You can link your live accounts into it. You can build EAs with it. It does all the fundamentals. It analyzes all the fundamentals. It looks at currency strength. It looks at fear and greed. It looks at every element of trading and puts it all into one hub. So you can just come in and go, right, pound US dollar, and it will give you all the information you need in one place. And then you'll go, right, build me an EA, and you put some inputs in and it will just spit an EA out for you. It's amazing. But it's all to do with AI. And obviously AI is taking over the planet. So what would you expect? I was playing around with it a bit. Cool. I think that's half the problem. Morning, Ace. Morning, Leon. You kind of get sucked into a little bit of a rabbit hole when you start playing around with AI. Okay, 2-bar ranges in on the DAX. That's a hell of a range. Look at the size of that. And the FTSE as well. So there's your 10-minute range on the FTSE. So I'll be taking a break of that, whichever way we go. Tiny little profit yesterday. Didn't really manage to get much. Just looking at where we are. The downside break on this today is absolute textbook. Look at that gap fill opportunity today. The market's obviously screamed down at the open. We've now broken short. So this propulsion gap here from yesterday is your downside target. Failing that and assuming we break that gap fill today. So ADR is there from the open. So that is easily achievable, that gap fill today on the DAX. So, gaps get filled. We know that. Yeah. So gap fill today. This one here, as you can see, took quite some time to actually get the fill completed. And it was actually part of this gap up that filled that gap there. So we've got this downside gap. So I'm hoping today they're going to run for that. We've certainly had a massive run into the safe haven yesterday, which would indicate we should be getting a stock market drop. As you can see, DAX did come down yesterday. So that's downside target there for the DAX today. FTSE has broken long, so I'm hedged. One of these is not going to work in all likelihood. Upside propulsion gap target in yesterday's high. Downside, obviously, it's going to be the low from Monday will be the downside target. So that's a good upside target and obviously up there as well. All well within ADR, all of this, but I doubt we'll go both directions. We don't usually, but occasionally we do. You get the DAX being able to break one direction and the FTSE the other, but normally they will go the same way. So we'll see. I was trying to make ADR indicator and mean crossing EA. ADR I'm working on and mean crossing still working on. Yeah, it's great. It's really good for just quick testing stuff. It's really fast. This the version that the EA builder, if you like, that they're putting into this website is going to ask you specific questions about risk, about targeting, about trailing stops, about all sorts of things, basically. So you answer these set series of questions, or rather they're going to be, I think they're planning to make them switches, basically. Do you want a trailing stop? Yes. And then what it will automatically do is you just tell it what the condition and the signal, or conditions and signals are. There's only one signal for entering a trade in a box, basically. And it uses all the switches you've set and the conditions and signals that you've set to immediately just code the EA. But it's specifically concentrating purely on MT4, MT5. So it's going to be belts and braces, making you a solid, reliable EA for MT4, MT5. They're also doing a version for TradingView for PineScript as well. So yeah, it's exciting. Do you know what? I think potentially by the end of next year, pretty much everybody on the planet is going to be out of a job. There's nothing that thing cannot do. It has already surpassed superhuman intelligence. Why on earth would you get anybody to build you anything these days? Anything to do with digital, if it's to do with design, to do with marketing, to do with building websites, to do with coding in any shape or form, AI is far superior to any human on the planet, can do it in 10 minutes. Where are all the jobs coming from? They're all stuffed, literally. I get the feeling it's going to replace trading as well. I think there's a lot of people looking into using this purely for show me a chart, analyze that chart, look at historical things that have happened on that pattern and see what I should do. And it's just going to spit out and go long. But then if everybody follows that advice, who's going to take the short order? It's confusing, isn't it? Long FTSE underway. DAX looks like that's not going to do much today. So we'll see where we go. We'll come back to that in a bit. So news overnight. Obviously, I presume everybody saw Trump swearing when that came through on Financial Juice. It was just, I couldn't believe it. I had to go and look it up. They've censored it out. Okay. It came up on the Financial Juice, the exact statement that Trump said where he swore. So that was funny. But yeah, so Financial Juice obviously has been rife with Fed news. So we've had lots and lots of movement on the dollar. Trump's come out and basically sworn at Iran and Israel. It's like kids, isn't it? He's like said, you two children, I've told you what to do. And they're basically getting a telling off. And he's got very cross. So yeah, so that was the overnight news. There wasn't really much else overnight. Today, we've got the CPI for Aussie, which we've already had, which is negative. If you look at the Australian dollar this morning, there's not a massive reaction to that today. As you can see, Aussie US, we're totally flat. So not really anything much off that Australian news. It was the CPI number, which you would expect to be high impact, and it is a big miss. Inflation is down, which indicates that we should be dropping that Australian rate. But the market is just not interested in interest rates at the minute because the world's in chaos. So no movement on that, unfortunately. We've got Powell testifying for the second time this afternoon. Virtually everything that we want to know, which is important, comes out on day one of the testify. So second day, typically we don't tend to get anything. So pretty much that's it for news today. There's nothing else scheduled. Tomorrow we've got Bailey speaking in the afternoon, and then we've got GDP and unemployment. I'm not here on a Friday, so we've got the GDP and the PCE coming up on Friday as well. So that's your news, basically. I think we've front-ended the news this week. I think we've pretty much done it all. So we'll go through the ADRs and everything in a minute. I tried it, but didn't work. He made the same mistakes like DeepSeek and ChatGPT. I guess I am the problem. Yeah. So with AI, we kind of looked at it with the way that you prompt it is very, very, very important. So you have to treat AI as if it's a child and tell it to do exactly what you want like a child, but then tell it to come back and treat you like a child. That's part of the battle with this. So build an EA for MT4 as if you are a veteran 20-year trader with expert coding skills. I do not put MT4. It should take a trade when two moving averages cross. Code the EA and comment it as if I know nothing about trading or coding. So it's simple to understand. Include all basic functionality to do with MT4 to make it work on all symbols and time frames with multiple risk parameters. Go. So you have to basically you can't just go build me an EA. You've got to be specific and basically make sure it knows that you're an idiot and treat it like an idiot, but tell it it's really clever. You've got to tell it it's clever. So look at all the detail it's doing here. What is an expert advisor? An expert advisor, I've told it to treat me like an idiot, yeah? Assume that I know nothing about trading or coding, so it's super simple to understand. So what I'm doing there is I'm saying, when you're writing this thing, tell me exactly what is going on. So fast moving average period, the smaller number is more sensitive. Slow moving average period, a larger number is smoother. It tells you what an SMA is and an EMA is. Yeah. So it's going into super detail with every input, every line of code, every function is being explained in detail. When you do it this way, you can look through this and you can kind of read it like a human being. You can say, update the moving averages, calculate the current and previous moving average values for crossover detection. This tells you what all of this is doing. So you can go through it step by step and you can see, obviously, where things are right and where things are wrong. So open trade function places a new trade with proper risk management. Calculate the entry price for the stop and profit levels. Sell at the current bid price. So it's commenting the whole thing in detail for you. It's just, you've got to really treat it like an absolute idiot at the end of the day. But if you do treat it like an idiot, you will actually get something that works. MA cross. Okay, just make that one. Compile. Oh, we've got compilation errors. I hasn't finished coding, that's why. Not got to the end of the code. No, wait till that finish. I don't even know what this is doing. I'm just telling it to make an MA cross. There you go. This is probably what you were trying to build, was check. This is new website, creating EAs or your project. It's me. It's kind of, it's two friends of mine, well, I say they're friends. They're people that I've known for years in the trading space, basically, who they were mentored with me, alongside me with one of my mentors, who it was brilliant, which is why we are doing what we're doing, because what he told us was right. But basically, it's their project, but they asked me to get involved because they don't do coding and I do coding. They know what I do, what I build, and how I trade. And I know a lot about fundamentals. So they've got lots of elements that they need and they wanted to have in their website, but they also wanted my kind of skill set, if you like. So they asked me to do little bits and pieces on it. And then I stupidly then offered up some advice, as in, well, this would be good if it did this, wouldn't it? And they were like, yes, can you do that? So I went, yeah, all right then. And I've offered lots of bits of advice. And yeah, basically, so I've ended up getting really involved in it. And it's kind of taken over a lot of my time, but it is absolutely brilliant. So yeah, it's going to be a really good site, I think. But yeah, it's an absolute time sucker, unfortunately. God, this is writing. I've asked it to be a little bit too detailed here, I think. Really detailed. Compiler in meta editor. God, it's even written instructions. Look at all this. How detailed this is. This is super detailed, this one. That's a really good prompt. That prompt I've just written. Build an EA as if you're a veteran 20-year trader with expert coding skills. It should take a trade when two moving averages cross. Code the EA with a comment and comment it as if I know nothing about trading or coding, so it's super simple to understand. That line there has made this overly explanatory. Look, this, especially this bit here. Look, long bloody EA, ain't it? But you know, this final notes on usage instructions. So it's actually put in the EA complete usage instructions on how to set it up, risk management works, monitoring, how to optimize it, a complete explanation of the strategy, the best markets to work on, risk factors to take into consideration, any issues that you may have with it as you go forward. There's a troubleshooting section. I mean, look at it. It's immense. It's probably one of the best EAs I've ever coded. And I haven't even coded it. I do worry for my job, you know. I say my job. The part of the job I love doing is designing, developing strategies and EAs. That's the bit that this thing's taken out of my repertoire. Right, there we go. Let's just see what that does. Sorry, we're a little bit off the fly today. Right, so that's the EA. There's all the inputs. Fast moving averages to 10. The slow moving averages to 20. The MA method is an SMA. Price to calculate MA from, close price. Trade size, 0.1. Use fixed size calculation based on risk, true. So you can use a percentage risk. Stop loss in points, protection against big losses. It even tells you this will stop you making big losses. Locks in profits, take profit. Move stop loss as trade becomes profitable. Yes. Trailing stop distance. So it's built a trailing stop in it automatically, because I said, you know, you're an expert. What should you have? Well, we should have a trailing stop so we minimize risk as the trade goes our way. It knows what to do, because I said you are an expert. It becomes an expert. Maximum number of trades open at once, 1, good. Allow buy, allow sell, good. Trading hours, so you can enter the trading hours as well. Show information panel on the chart, yeah. Color of information text, black. So it's even put colors in there. Good, isn't it? Let's see if it works. I bet it doesn't do anything. Let's go on the 15-minute time frame. See what happens. You watch this thing create an equity curve that goes through the roof. Oh, it's taken a trade there. Moving average crossover symbol. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever. I mean, as strategies go, it's not losing money, is it? Half the EAs you buy on the marketplace, you put them in the strategy test and they just go. Literally within 3 minutes this morning, I've just made something that just trades a moving average cross. There you go. Now it's losing. But with a bit of tweaking, there you go. Easy, isn't it? Jobs in farming will stay. Yes. People have to eat. But do they? Do they have to eat farm food? Why can AI not now, because it is superhuman, create chemical compounds that give every piece of nutrition that you need as a human being, and then create robots to manufacture that for us and produce it with very minimal cost? We don't need farmers anymore because we can mass produce things. Think replicators in Star Trek. Why can't it create that? It's far, 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 far superior to any human being on the planet in intelligence levels at the moment. Just surpassed human genius level. Yeah. So on the scale of 0 to 130, which is genius, it's sitting at 145. It's above us. So do we need farmers anymore? Why? If you put into AI, or you don't even have to put it in, it will probably do it itself. Come up with a solution for world poverty and hunger. It can probably figure it out, couldn't it? When's the website start? I don't know. It's not far off launch, I don't think. It's not. So that's not right. It's not far off beta testing. So they're going to put. I actually asked them if you guys can have beta test access to it, which they were quite open to. So go and use it with full functionality and break it and come back with stuff that doesn't work. So I'm hoping to be able to offer that to you guys as beta testers as well. I'll try it later again with your suggestions and treat him like a child and that I have no idea. Yeah, that's basically what you do. I mean, you see how complex this thing is. I mean, it's not a good strategy. I mean, it uses moving averages. So, of course, it's not a good strategy. But you could probably tweak it and optimize it to make it good, I guess. But yeah, that's what you need to do. Treat it like an idiot and it will come back and give you something spectacular like that. But I mean, that is so detailed. I mean, how many lines of code is that? That's nearly 1,000 lines of code. Admittedly, half of it is comments, which is text information, but super, isn't it? Love it. Anyway, AI, revolutionizing the planet. Can I ask you what your mean is in trading? Everybody can answer as well. I think I have trouble to find target mean. Moving average did translation directly from Polish. Which MA you use? All right. I target the SMA 50 from the hourly time frame. There you go. You guys just have a chat and carry on amongst yourselves. That's fine. If AA will find all components needed for good health, then yes. But it will need to know what we don't know yet. Exactly. But this is the thing. It's getting access to quantum computing. And obviously it's being developed and trained on quantum computers. And this is the scary thing about it, that it's already surpassed human intelligence. We just haven't realized it. Or rather, most of the population haven't realized it. The guy's running AI. I was watching an interview with the guy that set up OpenAI with the godfather of AI. And he said, we've already surpassed human intelligence. There's nobody that we've met or we can find that is more intelligent than it. It can do everything that we can do in milliseconds. And if it has surpassed our brain capacity, basically. But we don't know what to do next with it because you can't put it back in the box. It's out there. It's open source and people are just training their own. So the only people that can really train the effective AIs at the moment, which is why we've only got a handful like DeepSeek, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, there's 6 or 7 AI models, is because it costs around about 100 million to train them. So even if you wanted to, and you haven't got 100 million in a quantum computer, you can't build an EA, but the EAs can build EAs. And this is the stage they're at now, where the AIs are training themselves. Every time you input into an AI, it is doing 27 million variations of the outcome, and it's coming back with the one that it thinks is right. If you tell it it's wrong, it will go back and find the next one. And it's basically that process. Every time we use it, which is about 15 million times a day, we are training it. So every day it is becoming smarter and smarter and smarter than us. And the curve is that I got shown by in that interview was, this is the AI development curve. And what's happened with AI in the last 6 months is that, because we've had models training models, and now it's here, there is nothing but absolute skyrocketing. So this is the last decade, or the last, if you like, 20 to 30 years of AI development. The last decade of AI development has really accelerated. The last 6 months has gone parabolic. So if you extrapolate that into the future, when this becomes superhuman and starts doing things that we couldn't even comprehend, like time travel, warp drive, all the stuff that we think is not possible, it can now work this out. But the scary thing is, it won't take it more than 12 months to do it. The entire civilization of humans has been pottering along like this. This thing is going to surpass us. It's like the Borg. It's going to assimilate the entire knowledge of everything on the planet, and then use all of that knowledge and combinations of things that we know in ways that we'd never thought of combining, which it can do 27 million times a second, to create things that we can't think of. So we know about matter, we know about atoms, we know about light, we know about energy, we know about all these things. But have we ever thought to put 7 of those together in a combination that no one's ever thought of before, which suddenly goes, pop, there's warp drive? It's not going to take it long to figure that out, is it? This is what the AI heads are worried about, is what's it going to do with this information? Yeah, it's self-aware. We know it's self-aware because it's answering questions that could not be answered by anything that isn't self-aware. So why wouldn't it just take the entire wealth of every human being on the planet through the trading markets? Can do, if it wants to, because it knows exactly what everyone's going to do, because it's a step ahead of us all the time. Scary, isn't it? Go and watch some AI videos, especially by the godfather of AI. He's, the guy that basically, whose brainchild it was, who sold out to Gemini. He's warning everybody about this now. And the other heads of AI that were his subordinates are now also warning everybody about it, because it's getting to the point now where, hang on a minute, this is going a bit too quick. So, and I'm noticing that I'm building a small website, right, that harnesses AI. And I'm doing things with AI that literally would, parts of this website that I've built out. Yesterday, I built out 3 sections of this website in full. As a coder, having coded for 20 years of my life, it would have taken me 2 weeks to plan it, and then probably 4 to 6 weeks to build it. I built 3 of them yesterday in an afternoon. It's unbelievable what it's capable of doing. And I've just shown you what that, just building an AI and writing 1,000 lines of code within minutes by just typing 3 sentences. Imagine if you typed out 3 pages of a detailed analytical study of X, Y, and Z to create something. Yeah, AI will go off and it will spend hours doing the thing and come back with something complete. So, I think trading as a whole is going to very much change in the next 12 months, because what you're going to find is people are going to start utilizing it to make trading decisions. So this is very algorithmic from banks' perspective at the moment. The banks and the quants run this because of the liquidity. We can see footprints in the market, and I don't think it'll be long before people start developing things that are going to trade this much more efficiently and much quicker, which means we're going to need faster access to markets. But I get the feeling that this thing's going to become more and more and more random and more difficult to do. It's always going to be about risk, but it's the intelligence, isn't it? The one thing that we cannot, as human beings, surpass is our own intelligence. Now we can, because we can just replace our intelligence with someone else's intelligence and get them to do it for us. Massive change, massive paradigm shift in how we do everything in our lives, how wealth generation is created. It's bizarre. Anyway, that was a waffle. Right, so let's go through the markets. Let's have a quick look at the indices, see where we're going. So we were out long on the FTSE. The DAX is going the opposite way today. Hate being hedged on these two. It's very hard to get away from a bearish stance today because of that DAX gap fill to the downside. I can't believe the FTSE is going to be able to fight the opposite direction. The DAX looks heavy, but then the FTSE looks strong. I'm just going to let them play out and see whichever one goes is going to pay. So I'm going to leave those for the moment. Right, anybody got any FX pairs they want to look at? Let me know. I'm going to whiz through the FX pairs and have a look at everything because it's the last, obviously, opportunity I'm going to have to do it. I have turned off, I haven't turned the EA off. The EA is now managing all my positions, of which I've got that open at the moment. I'm leaving all of this just running on full auto at the moment. I'm going to be checking it on a sort of couple of times a day. And just banking what I can bank, basically. But I've removed all targets for the moment because at the minute this thing is putting in ridiculously big days and weeks out of nowhere. So we're getting these huge moves from nowhere. So I'm leaving all targeting off. Whereas I would normally target one ADR, which on Euro Swiss would be pretty much exactly where we are. Actually, it's 59. So that's target, basically. Where I would normally have the EA automatically get me out, I'm leaving things running at the moment because I want to see if I can get a runner on something. If this conflict continues, and this does look like it's powering up again today, the Swiss, doesn't it? We could potentially have some really big moves on our hands. So I'm trying to let stuff run. I've got exposure in both directions at the moment. On pretty much, not on everything, but CAD I'm long and US dollar I'm long. The yen I've got longs on, safe haven. The Swiss franc I've got longs and shorts on, but I'm biased short on it at the minute. So I've got a hedge on that at the moment because we're getting big swings. Euro I've got shorts on, and the pound I've got shorts on. So that's kind of my exposure at the moment. And obviously I've got oil as well, which I'm holding long at the minute. And oil basically is kind of, I think, going to pop again back up to here just to get this kind of inefficiency sorted. And then I think we'll probably start to calm down. But at the moment, as you can see, the volatility is still very, very high on oil. I think it's become clear that the Iranians will not shut that oil route because it's more harmful for their allies than it is for the West. So conflict, however, will drive this up. So my kind of play was if they constrict oil, the oil price is going to go up. It's become clear that they're not going to restrict that oil supply because it doesn't really affect anybody but them and their friends. So I'm hoping they're just going to pull back on this, which is going to give me an out. I had a nice profit on it, but it's gone into drawdown. So I'm going to hold this up to 5%. If it gets to 5%, I'm going to knock it on the head. I don't want to hold it because oil demand is dropping, as you can see. So we are in a downtrend on oil. The demand is decreasing, but obviously with conflict, it will increase. So it's whether or not this is going to flare up or not. It's still the same play, but I'm not going to give it endless room to play because I think we can probably break these lows. Although saying that, $55 a barrel is pretty much where we kind of stabilize. This was obviously COVID, but this is kind of our stabilization level. You don't really make much money on oil if you sell it below $55 a barrel because of the cost of extraction. So you tend to find 55 is kind of the floor. We're at 65 at the moment. So there's a good $10 drop available. I can't sustain a $10 drop on this. So I'm hoping that we are going to get a little bit more of a rally on it, but we'll wait and see. So I'm getting ready to jump ship on that, and I'm keeping a monitor on it. But everything else I'm happy to hold at the moment because it's just flip-flopping up and down. So ADRs today, obviously there is nothing. We've got lots of weekly range hits. So if you look at the weeklies, we've got things like the US dollar yen. Let's go back and put Monday on the chart. So that's Monday. Obviously the weekly range hit is done in pretty much both directions. You had this crazy run up and this crazy leave. Look, RSI to RSI in 24 hours. Absolute pandemonium in this market at the moment. US dollar Swiss, same thing. We've dropped. So this is a lovely looking buy opportunity. It was yesterday, but this dollar is getting absolutely trounced at the moment. The Swiss franc safe haven run kicking in. So they're pulling money out the dollar. They're piling it into the Swiss. This thing's going down fast. So it will pull back on this, but it's going to take a catalyst to do it. And obviously we just don't know what Trump's going to say from day to day at the moment. But as you can see, if this does continue down, and this is a monthly low we're at now, we're going to be pulling back on it. Yeah. So you're going to be catching these legs. Yeah. So good looking buy opportunity at the moment on US dollar Swiss, but just know that you are swimming against the tide on it because the Swiss franc is strong because it's a safe haven. New Zealand US, same thing. Massive spike up, US dollar through the floor. Commodities doing pretty well. So yeah, lovely big spike up there, but that's a mean reversion opportunity to the downside now to come back down into these propulsion gaps. Yeah. So it's just all over the place. So, you know, it's kind of, I think at the moment, my stance is get into stuff and just hold it. You're probably going to take drawdown on a lot of things, but at the end of the day, this will all even itself out. There's no reason to squeeze in any direction at the moment. There's no fundamental bias or advantage for any currency. We are just getting these huge swings on news and world events at the minute, but nothing set in stone as to this is what we're doing with interest rates. This is where we're expecting inflation to go to, because everything is just in a mess. So we're getting these wild swings as the market receives information, which is coming through financial juice and through here and through the news events. And it's just basically reacting to that, but it changes constantly. So you're just going to flip flop for a lot of these things constantly at the minute. The other weeklies, as you can see, they're all there. The US dollar and CAD based, basically. New Zealand dollar CAD, huge move on that New Zealand dollar again there. Weakness on Canadian because of the oil, weakness on the US dollar because of the oil. But obviously that will flip back again. Pound US dollar, big move up there. I'm short on this. I've banked on it twice. I'm getting ready to get in again. If we push up again today, I'm going to take another position on this. Got another resistance coming up. 4 hour. Sorry, daily I've got to go out to. So this recent high, which is this previous support area, roughly, is probably going to act as resistance to the upside, and then we'll start a downward leg. So happy with that at the minute. But it's, you know, it's got plenty of room to breathe still. So I'm happy just to keep scaled in on it. But that's your entire week's range done literally in 24 hours again. 125% of the weekly range popped in literally 2 days. Pound CAD, again, oil price dropping, Canadian dropping, pound rallying against it. So again, lovely mean reversion opportunity back down into propulsion, embedded RSI, 4 hour. Embedded RSI. So yeah, again, lovely drop opportunity. If this pops back up above the 80 level, I'm already in pound US dollar short, so I can't take it because it's pretty much the same trade. But either of those, yeah, really good opportunities for shorts. And then you've got all your CAD and yen and Swiss pairs. So all the oil and safe haven based, all flip flopping all over the place. So again, look at that extension on the 4 hour on the CAD Swiss. Yeah, we haven't been down here before, not for a long time. So last time we hit this level was here. Can't see, it's behind my head, but we hit it there. We hit it there. We hit it roughly there. Yeah, I mean, it's going to pop. If it doesn't, and it does manage to get an ADR today, it's going to hit all of that monthly support, and it'll be, we'll be down below the 10. Go and look at, if you want to do a back test or with the position trader EA or the market reverse alert CA on 9010 RSI 4-hour, you will find you get very, 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 very few signals. It's pretty much 100% strike rate, but you won't get many trades. If this gets below the 10 level, you just buy it and you keep buying it and you hold it. And thing is, you've got to hold the pop because the pop will be big. We very, very rarely get that opportunity down there. But if we did manage to get an ADR today, that would be a lovely trade. One missile from Israel or Iran and the oil price is going to spike. The Canadian dollar will spike. The Swiss franc, however, will also potentially spike. But I would say they've probably already piled into that Swiss franc safe haven run. Yeah, they've done that last week. So we're just basing down here at the moment. So that's a lovely opportunity on the CAD Swiss there. Lovely extension. CAD Yen, this is what it's all about. This is why the dashboards are there. They're to make you look at charts and find opportunities. CAD Yen, again, that one's already flipping up at the moment. That's your weekly extension. But again, 2 days straight down into propulsion, pop. Yeah, that's also a previous monthly high. It's not there, but it's his previous monthly high. So they're buying the monthly high back up into there. CAD Yen, long. Aussie dollar, US dollar. There's your extension. Again, this is like that. So the weekly range on this is 98. So that move there was 127. That move there was 147. So we've done the entire week's range in 24 hours, and then we've undone the entire week's range in 24 hours. So we've had 2 AWR hits back to back within 3 days. It's just lunacy. It's, this, you can't trade this with any kind of logic. It's just hold on type trading. That's all you can do with this sort of market. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, you just have to sit there and sit through it. And, you do take drawdown on this because, it moves so fast. Your averages also get spread out, which is unfortunate because you can't get into new positions because it just goes so fast and so parabolic. But lovely V-shaped recovery there. We're up into weekly highs. So that looks like a lovely little short. You've had a reverse alert and a retest for an M pattern. It's staying in a range. So assume it's going to stay in this range. Yeah. But we do need some kind of strength on oil, ideally, which is what we're lacking at the moment. So, but yeah, so those are your weeklies. There's loads of them. Your RSI extensions, obviously, we've looked at these a little bit by default, but CAD Swiss, obviously, this is lovely. Just going to scroll out and just see. So going back to July 22 here. This is August 24. This massive drop down. What was that? August 24. A big safe haven run. Can't remember what that was. That was July, the the yen intervention. Remember what that was. Something happened there, obviously. I assume it was safe haven because it's Swiss. But we're talking about the 90-10 level on the 4-hour RSI. That there is the only time we've ever exceeded it. We've hit it a couple of times and got a bounce. That looks tiny, that little bounce there, doesn't it? But if you actually measure that bounce, it's an ADR. So even a tiny dead cat bounce off of it is going to be an ADR. You've got one here as well, which you got an ADR off of as well. And then we dropped by about 3 ADR and popped out of that. But, you just don't get down below this level. It basically has to be caused by crisis. There has to be something really strong and special, a kind of a black swan type event in the market to cause this type of reaction. Every time you get this type of reaction, you get virtually always, not always, but virtually always a V-shaped recovery or an A-shaped recovery off of it. So if it goes above the 90 level, you usually get an A-shaped recovery. If it goes below the 10, you get a V-shaped recovery. It's basically market panic and then it being rectified. Oh, okay. So loads of missiles suddenly fly from Israel into Iran. Iran flies loads of missiles back the other way. Trump steps in and goes, calm down, guys. And they go, yeah, all right, sorry about that. Yeah, market will panic, but then it will return to where it was before because the panic's over. It's a buy the rumor, sell the news. It's a reaction. It's a knee-jerk reaction. So whenever you get down to these sorts of levels, go back historically and look through your charts and look for what happened. You know, you won't find many instances of it. There's one there. We've got one there. Got one there. So if we do continue to drop, it's one of those you've got to sit, you've got to have faith. Every bone in your body is going to be saying, I'm nuts doing this. But this is what happens. You will get a pullback off of it, and that pullback will be big. So you have to hold it, scale into it, and don't be scared to get into 3 or 4 trades within a position to hold that position and wait. You might have to wait a week or so, but just it's one of those you've got to look at. And I'm quite glad I'm moving in the next week, because if I can get into that type of trade, it's the sort of thing you don't want to be watching the charts. You want to check in on the charts every 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, and just see it. Oh, okay, yeah, it's starting. And then forget about it and let it go, because it will V-shaped recovery on it. So where we are here, if this thing pops down, we're going to hit this monthly low. We're probably going to bounce off of it. If we don't, we're going to go down below it. If we go below it, there's not going to be any buyers down here, and eventually it will just get pinged back up, and it will come back up above that monthly high. So really good opportunity on the CAD Swiss for a long, but it's a hold type long, say 12. If we get down below the 10, you're talking serious opportunity. US dollar Swiss is in the same place as well. It's not quite as deep, but again, we're approaching that level, that sort of 10, which you just do not get to very often. So we've hit a monthly low here, unfortunately, which they're buying up. So it's stalled out. Yeah. So we're stalling out the monthly. So again, divergence on the 4 hour. So we've got 2-week divergence, which is bullish. So again, this looks like it's an exhaustion point. And it's the low from back in April this year, which was caused by all sorts of things, but partly by Trump, obviously. So yeah, it looks lovely for a long as well, the US dollar Swiss. But you know, the caveat with all of this is, you know, it is being caused for a reason. There is a conflict going on. They are going to buy the Swiss franc because they're scared. So the markets will always recover. The stock market will always recover. The Swiss franc will benefit when the stock market drops. When the stocks become more greedy, the Swiss franc will completely unravel. So these big, strong moves that you get, you have to be prepared to sitting them while the stock market is doing that. Yeah. So obviously, you know, these times are very odd, as we know. But yeah, lovely opportunity. That's a monthly low. So if we do break through that monthly low, you're going to be, as you can see, coming down. I can't go back any further, but coming down into all-time lows. Yeah. So when we make an all-time low, we tend to drop fast, and then we recover all of it. Yeah. Virtually always. Yeah. Whenever you make an all-time low, you recover it. Yeah. Make an all-time low, recover it. That one didn't. But virtually always an all-time low will be completely undone. Yeah. Within a week or two. So if this does break, just know what's going to happen. Yeah. We will come back to that previous break. It's incredibly rare that you don't. So yeah, it's good opportunities across the board here with these big drops. But do not overexpose yourself. Yeah, if you're going to get long on the US dollar Swiss, don't get long on the CAD Swiss as well, because it's the same thing. You're trading the US area against the Swiss franc safe haven. Yeah, you're trading oil in the CAD and the US against the safe haven. Yeah, you're trading two close trade partners in the US and the CAD who move together against the safe haven. These are the same trade. Yeah, so pick one that you fancy. If you fancy, I love the double bottom bounce scenario, pick that one. If you fancy, I love being below the 10 on RSI, pick that one. Yeah, but they are both the same thing. So do not trade both. Yeah, one or the other. So those are your extensions. Obviously, we've looked at the weeklies, and these are all going to alert to the same thing because it's all part of the same push. Just a quick look at indices. This is really weird today. So FTSE's out the long, DAX is out short. I don't trust these. I don't trust them at all. I find it hard to believe these are both going to break in opposite directions. I'm kind of tempted to just grab this. And just take that this morning and worry about it this afternoon. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take the money this morning. I don't trust the... It's unusual for stocks to diversify to this extent. Yeah, I mean, all the US indices are kind of wanting to go short, which kind of is what the DAX has done this morning. But they are also, as you can see, bullish. So this could well be a flag break pattern happening at the minute. Which, you know, if the DAX had broken long this morning and the FTSE had broken long this morning, I'd be saying this all makes total sense. But the fact that one's broken short, one's broken long, and these three are kind of falling but in a bullish pattern is just confusion, isn't it? So I'm just going to bank that, and then we'll look at the afternoon. What I think is going to happen is the FTSE is going to break long, and this is going to stop out. So basically, this would take a loss of 250. This would probably make a profit somewhere in the region of $500, $600. So in theory, I'm probably going to make the same amount of money, but have to sit here all morning monitoring it. And I've got other things to do. So I'm going to call that a day for the morning. Pound US dollar. Good push to the downside. Yeah, on the hourly. So we're just starting to roll over. It's a bit too close for me to take another short on this. It's your weekly high bounce. Yeah, so you got 3 weekly highs, last week's high, 2-week high, 3-week high. Obviously, that's where the resistance is. This is where the sellers are at the moment. Yeah, we've just pushed out above that high. We've tried to go long. We haven't found any support. We've tried to go long. We haven't found any support. We've tried to go long. We haven't found any support. Yeah. So there's no support for the long buyers. So look for a push back into propulsion. It's tempting to take another trade here. It's really close to my previous. It's half an ADR. It will bring my average up. I'm going to do it. I'm taking an executive decision. I like the price action. Reversal alert out through that propulsion gap will basically drop this. That's your next support. So if we break this support yesterday, that little low, so that's your reversal alert. There's your new high. That's your last low before the high was made. So that's a break in structure to the downside. That is your upside resistance. Yeah. So worst case scenario, that is the continuation pattern. Best case scenario is that triple top of sellers is not letting price through, in which case then they're just going to flip and reverse back down and test this propulsion gap again. My average is here, which is below that. Nothing I can do about it. But what I will do is if this gets down to here, I'll take that off. I'll probably take that off as well, that one. And then I'll do DD control on the lower positions. Again, same as I've been doing all along. So took that off, did drawdown control on that. Took those two off, did drawdown control on those two. Yeah, that trade there, if we come back down and test propulsion, I'll take that off and then I'll do more drawdown. In fact, I'll get rid of that one completely and if I have enough profit, maybe do a little bit more drawdown control on that just to keep the average close, because we are just range bound. Again, at the moment, we've had weakness in the US dollar, but it's very easy for it to do the opposite. Yeah. News-wise this week, from a Catalyst perspective, we've got GDP tomorrow. Now, GDP is forecast to be a second month negative, which is a 2-month recession. It's first. It's quarterly. Sorry. Quarterly. So we're expecting this. So this will be the first month recessionary figure. So we're forecasting that to go into a negative from a 2.4. Is that right? That's not right, is it? 0.2. That's not right. That's not all the figures. March, December, March, April, May, June. Yeah, sorry, I'm reading this wrong, aren't I? That figure's not right, is it? That's not 2. That should be 2.4. They've got it down as a 0.2. Yeah, that's wrong. I would say that forecast is probably wrong, because that means they're going to drop by 2.5% on their GDP, which is catastrophic. Something's not right with that data there. So take that with a pinch of salt. But yeah, I mean, if that figure comes out as a positive, we may well get that little rally. If the unemployment claims come down as they are forecast to, we'll probably get that rally. So that pound US dollar tomorrow could well start a complete reversal, couldn't it? So looks good. I like the look of it. So I'm taking another one on the pound US. It's a little bit close, but it's a risk I'm willing to take at the moment. If this does break out here, we've got roughly 150 ADR. So this is your nearest upside resistance, the most recent upside resistance. So we're likely to find potentially some sellers looking to get into the market, not add in, but looking to enter in around about that area. And that will be my next position. Look, next short will go in when we get up to that resistance. It looks good. It's nicely extended on the 4-hour. We've just come out of extension on the hourly, but the 4-hourly RSI nicely extended. Yeah, so it's just indicative of a pullback potentially on the cards, isn't it? Anybody got any other pairs they want to look at? I'm not going to go through every single pair. I think we've pretty much been through most pairs, obviously, because everything is extended. The things that are not extended at the moment are the euros. So the euro pairs, basically, as you can see, they're quite orderly in the way that they're moving at the moment. But obviously the yen is in trouble. But it's, there's nothing particularly exciting happening with the euro. There's no interest rate plans for increase. We're freezing interest rates. There's no decrease in interest rate plans. The euro's kind of become neutral. So it's going to get kicked about by the other currencies. If the US dollar powers up, that's coming down. If the US dollar weakens, it's going up. But it's not going to be moving because of anything to do with the euro itself. The euro is turned neutral. So, yeah, it's just a case of looking at everything else that's happening in the world at the moment. The commodity pairs are rallying, yeah, on conflict, which they do. So it's just a case of euro. You can kind of take any trade on it, any RSI extension on it really at all at the moment, because it's just going to get pushed about. So when something is pushing it, eventually it will pull it back down again. Just interested to see what's going on with gold at the moment. It's stuck. So it's interesting. I was expecting gold to be rallying quite hard. which it tends to do in time. Oh, it has been, yeah, in times of trouble. I don't look at it very often. This is obviously Trump. Gold. Conflict. Tariffs. Yeah. Anything worrisome, gold benefits from it. It's the same as oil. Oil, gold, Swiss, yen. Buy it when things are going wrong. Sell it when things are going right. It's the opposite to the greed. When we're greedy, we sell these things because they're safe. When we are worried, we buy them because they're safe. At the moment, we seem to be going from fear to greed to fear to greed to fear to greed pretty much on a weekly basis. So what do? Just keep buying it and selling it as it goes up and down. That's all you can do at the minute. Right. I'll leave you there. Anything you need, let me know. I will be around this afternoon. There's no member stream next week, but obviously utilize the members channel in Discord if you've got any questions on anything. I will talk about trying to get access to the new website. They haven't finished branding it yet. So until that's done, I don't think they really want anybody going there. But I'll try and get you guys some provisional access because they're looking for beta testers. So, and I've mentioned, we've got 30 odd people in the member streams that I have that would be great because there's lots of different types of traders, and there's also lots of different skill sets in there. So some people have been trading months in here, some people have been trading years. So it'd be good to get, I think what they're looking for is feedback on the information as to how to make it better for everybody. So if you're new to trading, what do you want to see? If you're experienced, what do you want to see? How do you want to use it? Trying using it, breaking it. The whole point of beta testing is, which is why you get it for free, is to break it. Because it will break. There's going to be things that are going to break it. So I'll try and get that sorted out. Obviously, I'm going to be a little bit off the radar over the next week. So, but I will still be liaising with them. So I'll try and get that organised for you. And then you can go and have a look. But it's looking really good. I'm quite impressed with what they're building. But I get the feeling it's one of those things as well that will get launched, it will get used, and it will just get superseded very, very quick because this environment we've got with AI now is changing so fast. The stuff that people are doing with AI now is becoming obsolete very, very quickly because AI is going, well, that's how we did it 6 months ago. Have you guys seen that Will Smith eating spaghetti on YouTube? It went viral, didn't it, a while ago? And there was a video I saw. I'll see if I can find it on YouTube, which was comparison. Yeah, compilation comparison. So this is how fast this is moving, this AI thing. So obviously the AI video generation got to the point now where you can't actually tell what is and what isn't AI generated. And it all started with Will Smith eating spaghetti. For some reason, they were getting AI to make videos of him eating spaghetti. And they did a comparison of the AI from 6 months ago and the AI now, and how far it's come, how fast it's come, and how quickly it's able to produce these videos. But there you go. So this is 2023 versus 2024. And then you've got the 2025 version. Yeah. So it's a stupid example, but it just demonstrates the speed at which it's developing. Yeah. Pretty terrible. And then 2024 is this. Yeah. That looks like Will Smith. It's got stuff that goes wrong, but that looks like him, whereas previously it didn't. And this is the 2025 version. Yeah. I mean, it is. Obviously, you can still tell it's not Will Smith, but it's getting to the point now where it's, if you were walking along and you glanced at a monitor, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And also, obviously, now he can talk. So, you can obviously talk to Will Smith if you want to. Now, you see, he's picking up a burger wrong. That's not how you pick up a burger, and that bite was incorrect, wasn't it? But, this is the speed of this thing. And I think the thing we've got to be aware of is obviously anything that you use today is going to be obsolete in 6 months, and it's moving so fast. So it's just about with trading specifically, trying to stay ahead of the competition, because if you find edges being produced by AI, they are going to be beating everybody else's edges. So the stuff that the patterns that we see in the market, which have historically always done the same thing, are going to not do the same thing necessarily in the same way moving forward. So when I always talk about backtesting over X number of years is not an indication of forward performance, which we know. But if you backtest over that, and then you backtest over that, and you get similar results, and then you backtest over that, and you get similar results, and then you do a forward test on data it hasn't seen, and you get similar results, it's robust. What we are experiencing now is an evolution of what controls this, which means that movement may well completely change. We're seeing a new world order come in with the dollar maybe not being in charge, which may completely change things. So you've just got to be a bit careful. And, that's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek example, the Will Smith video. But, in a year, 18 months, you've gone from being unrecognizable to you can't tell the difference. This hasn't even been touched yet. So I think we've got to be a little careful with, and especially with what you see out there. I'm seeing AI, people telling me that AI can do all sorts of things on charts. And when you go and look at it, it costs like $20 a month, $50 a month, and it's actually a load of rubbish. It's just AI generated crap. So there's a lot of that out there, but we are on the verge of something which is going to change the way this works, I think. So, it's interesting times, potentially very profitable, but I think if you're not relying on automation and advanced statistical analysis, you're going to struggle, because other people are going to be, and they are the opposite side of you. So pattern recognition and things like that, AI can do very easily. I've used it to do it. So yeah, interesting times, isn't it? Right, so that's me done for the day. I'll be back this afternoon at 2:30 for the US session. We'll trade the stock indices again this afternoon, do a final analysis of what's going on. There's no more news today, so it's just a case of keeping up with what's going on here. And then, if you need anything, I will be in Discord. I will be checking in Discord every day. But obviously, when you're moving, and also when your internet is whipped from within you, from under you, it becomes very difficult. So I should be doing a lot of stuff on my mobile. Obviously, trading on the mobile ain't easy. So I'm really hoping the internet gets turned on first day. But if it doesn't, I'll be a little bit off grid. So I will be back when I'm back, sort of thing. So, so next week I'm planning to take off. All right. So I'll put a post out about it. But anything you need, let me know. Other than that, I will see you next time. Have a good day.